Okay, so the first tool I want to teach you about is this one, the feelings of my heart. So that one helps us to identify and name our feelings. Uh, why I love this tool is because it helps children to name their feelings, but it also opens the door into the communication. So often you'll ask them, how was your day? Good. "Mm, anything exciting happen? No. What did you do? Nothing. And so by doing this activity, it really engages them to express themselves in a different way. And I'll show you how. Because once we start to draw our heart and we talk about the parts of our heart, I'll say, wow, that section of sad, that's really big. What happened to make you feel that way? And then they start going off about their day. And, somebody said something to so and so, and there was this big fight between the kids. And so it's just a different way to engage them. So at any point throughout your day, if you're not even sure about what you're feeling, you can quickly do this feelings of my heart. If your kid comes home after school and they're in a mood or they're not verbalizing what's going on, sit down and do some coloring with them. Try to get them to do this heart. All right, so I've just chosen a scrap piece of paper. You can choose any marker you want. You're just gonna draw a heart on your page. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be perfect. I am going to sift through my emotions and I'll put them up on the screen here and I'll attach them. But you're going to write whatever it is that you're feeling outside of your heart. You're going to pick a color for each of those feelings. And I'm just going to make mine up. But I want you to give thought to yours and what you might actually be feeling. Okay. And then you're going to fill your heart depending on how much of each feeling you're feeling. So if I'm a little bit happy today, but I'm feeling, pretty tired, and I'm feeling really anxious and a little bit scared. So I might say something like, what's the biggest feeling in your heart? So I might say something like, what's the biggest feeling in your heart? Is it happy? Is it anxious? Tell me about that. And then they'll start to share. Or I might say, tired. That doesn't feel very good. What might you need? Or did you have a bad sleep last night? Or a bad dream? Or were you up late? And it just starts the conversation in a different way. And so this really just helps identifying those feelings, and they'll start to share a little bit more about why they're feeling that way. The second tool I want to talk about is belly breathing. So belly breathing is probably the most widely used tool. Oftentimes, I'll get parents who say, I tried to encourage them to do the tools and they yelled at me and they said, I don't want to do it. And so I'll often say to the parents two things. The child sometimes gets too far and too heightened that at that moment they're not going to want to use the tools because they're too far gone into their feelings. So we have to practice these tools when they're calm, because when they're heightened, the thinking part of their brain is disconnected, and we're going to talk more about this and why that's so important. But kids can't access any logical thought or reasoning when they're in that heightened state of emotion, because there's a part of their brain that goes on. And we're going to talk about the amygdala and the limbic system. But for right now, belly breathing, they're either too heightened to use it. The other thing I'll say is if they don't want to use it, sometimes I'll even say, okay, you know what, that's fine, but I'm feeling overwhelmed and I need to belly breathe. because I need to calm myself down. Or I might even just say, okay, don't use it, but mommy's going to. And so I sit there and I belly breathe. Because what that teaches them is that that's the positive modeling. It's showing them subconsciously mom's overwhelmed, dad's overwhelmed, belly breathing, and that makes them feel comfortable or calm. And so they're going to pick up on it subconsciously. So the more that you're able to do it and show it and model it, the more they're going to pick up on it. So the belly breathing is simply you can choose to place your hands on your heart, your belly, or one on each. I say that you're going to breathe in like you're smelling the flowers, and you're going to breathe out like you're blowing out your birthday candles. So you want to feel your belly expand and go out when you breathe in, because you want to breathe all the way deep into your belly. And then you want to blow out, and so your belly's going to collapse. So we have the ability to calm our nervous system and to calm ourselves simply by breathing. You can do it anywhere. And I tell kids it's their secret superpower because they can do it in bed. They can do it before a test. They can do it on stage before a dance competition. And it's always there with them. And most of the time, people don't even know we're doing it. And so we just do that. So I want you to practice doing that 10 times. And I want you to practice noticing when you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, annoyed, anxious. Is this a tool you can utilize? Is this a tool you can show your kids? I'm overwhelmed. I need to calm down.